Hi, welcome to the Rappler Recap of Miss Universe 2023. I'm Rappler Entertainment Editor Margaret De Leon, and with me today are my team, which covered the pageant, which just concluded in El Salvador about 30 minutes ago. Isa Abad from the Lifestyle and Entertainment team, Steph Arnaldo also from the Lifestyle and Entertainment team, and Russell Koo from the Digital Communications team. Welcome, guys, and thank you so much for being here. Yay! Okay, so let's get started. So, the winner of Miss Universe 2023 is none other than Shanice Palacios of Nicaragua. Congratulations to her. So, she is the first ever Miss U of Nicaragua. So, how do you guys feel about her win?
Deserve.
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 Yes.
Okay.
I think from the very start, she was already an early favorite already. Even Miss Sociology in their final picks already gave her the first place. So she was already a contender in the first place. According to them, she said she's the most polished, elegant, and experienced candidate. And we could see that even in the preliminary competition, where she really stood out. Like her walk was very commanding. Like she was a crowd favorite even in El Salvador.
Okay. Ikaw, Isa.
Yes, I agree. I feel like her preliminary performance really stood out. Honestly, her evening gown for the prelims, I like that better than her final evening gown for this coronation night. And I think one of the best performance for the national costume was hers. Kasi ang ganda, if you're not aware.
Familiar, oo.
So I have a photo of her national costume.
Kita ba?
Kita po ba? Basta her
Okay,
costume was
describe
like
it
a
na lang.
blackbird. Tapos
okay.
during her walk, siya yung nag-kneel. Tapos may
pagganon-ganon
effect
pa
si
siya.
ate. Kasi parang sumasayaw talaga siya. So
Okay.
quickly nag-viral yan sa Twitter. Tapos parang, doon na nasa, I mean, already before that, pero basta established siya yung stage presence niya during the competition. And I feel like being a pageant veteran, kasi Miss Universe is not her first competition.
I
So
see.
she represented Nicaragua also in Miss World 2021.
Okay.
Na-compete niya yung Philippines Tracy Perez. And then before that, she also nag-Miss Teen Nicaragua rin siya. So talagang parang hasa na siya when it comes to
May
pageant.
pedigree na siya when it comes to that.
And I think it showed naman with her performance sa Miss Universe.
Yeah, I think also how she presented herself tonight on stage. Yun, with the parang grace, elegance, very just calm. And her evening gown tonight had a blue cape.
Cape? Yeah, kind of.
Which admittedly was not a fan of initially, but then when she explained the backstory of combining the colors of her home country and El Salvador, it just shows that she's very thoughtful in her decisions as a pageant queen.
I'm glad nga she took off the cape during the Q&A.
Yeah.
Tapos binalik na lang niya towards the end. But I don't know what was up with that. Pero anyway, ayun. So,
Tsaka,
ayan.
I think it's refreshing din na she's the first winner from Nicaragua.
Yeah,
Kasi
super.
parang, I mean, 7-year history na. Tapos usually when we do this pageants, parang ang expectations diba, parang by powerhouse
Yeah,
countries
it's usually
na.
like they're
So for
usual
someone
winners,
from
yeah.
a new country to
Yes.
win the title, talagang it seems like everyone was rooting for her.
Oo. Tapos yung Nicaragua in general, they haven't won any major pageants. So, as in Miss U, Miss World, Miss International, and Miss Earth, they've never won. So, for her to win this year is actually a pretty big deal. And I can imagine na pag-uwi niya, like,
that's a
dumugin na siya. Like, she's gonna be like super duper popular because of that. So, good on her. Tapos, in terms of stats then, like, if Thailand had won, let's just recap nga pala. So, after Miss Nicaragua, it was Thailand, first runner-up, and then Australia for second runner-up. If Thailand had won, it would have been Thailand's third win after si Porntip Kanok from 1988 pa. And then, if Australia had won, third win din nun ng Australia, si Jennifer Hawkins of 2004, yung last Australian Miss Universe. Ayun. So let's talk about, going back to Shanice, let's talk about her Q&A responses. I think mas nag-stand out yung top 3 Q&A niya as opposed to the top 5 because she mentioned si Mary Wollstonecraft So parang when she first mentioned that, like nag-prick up yung ears ko. Kasi parang, bakit ang familiar ng pangalan? Tapos at first, akala ko, siya ba yung nagsulat ng Frankenstein? Tapos, yung nagsulat pala ng Frankenstein, si Mary Shelley Wollstonecraft, who was her daughter. So si Mary Wollstonecraft, the mother, is a British writer, philosopher, and women's rights advocate. So what do you guys think about how she delivered that Q&A response?
I think it was very like I got confused like who's that person
Oo.
at first. I was like who's that? Like, I don't. But then like when you think about like as Isa said, she's very thoughtful in her answers. Then like she didn't just mention a generic answer or a more or for example kay Thailand it was Malala Yousafzai.
Oo.
Yeah, like a more notable icon, but really someone throughout history who advocated for women's rights. It kind of shows that really she tries to at least honor then those who came before her.
And I think I like that it was a very specific person. Like
Very niche.
yes, very niche. And it'll for those that aren't familiar, they'll Google, they'll learn more about her work. So it was nice that it wasn't too much of a general figure. So
And apparently, even before the question and answer, talaga yun na yung role model niya. Kasi yun yung nakalagay sa website, like the Best Universe website. She already mentioned Mary and because of her great courage. So yun yung explanation niya why she likes Mary. Tapos I feel like, ang hirap kasi assess ng question and answer portion for this pageant. Kasi parang medyo nakulangan lang ako sa questions mismo.
Agree, I agree.
Throughout the pageant. So parang hindi mo rin ma-assess masyado yung answers nila na parang kasi parang it wasn't especially like the whole thing going on sa world right now. I feel like there are like a lot more juicy questions
to
that you
ask.
could have asked the candidates.
Yeah.
And also kasi with the new owners of Miss Universe, this is their second actually under the ownership of JK and they wanted aspirational leadership, yung emphasis nito. So the fact that the question and answer was medyo simple, too simple for me, it medyo feels like parang where's the aspirational leadership? There's supposed to be more solutions-based, there's supposed to be more advocacy, and it's also reflected in the Voice for Change category. Like, they could have emphasized it more, especially since they have that category in the first place.
True. Like, diba, yung Voice for Change was the part where they highlight each candidate's advocacy. And none of the top 3 na nag-participate sa question and answer was even part of the top 10 ng Voice for Change.
That's interesting. Okay.
Oh, so I checked, wala any of that. And for those that are unfamiliar, an nanalo for Voice for Change were Philippines, Angola, and Puerto Rico. And even online, people were saying na sayang naman na parang sila pala yung may mas advocacy candidates. Bakit hindi sila nabigyan ng spotlight man lang? Kahit any one of them to be part of the question and answer portion.
Para ma-further yung platform. For context, by the way, yung top 3 kasi na question was, if you could live 1 year in another woman's shoes, who would you choose and why? That's such a Miss You 1995 question.
True.
Diba? Parang what is the essence of a woman? Diba? Parang wala lang. So, kind of and even in the top 5 Q&As, very generic din yung mga questions. Tama ka, like parang,
school bullying.
Oo.
Parang they're already
There's
school bullying. Or there was a question like, how would you use your platform? Or what would you do if you're Miss Universe?
your last day on earth.
Parang it's so typical slum book question. So wala lang, parang sayang lang, especially since I doubt they'd bring up like Israel, Palestine, but alam mo yun, parang they'd bring up at least something more kahit climate change man lang or something, 'di ba? Something
AI.
AI, yeah, oo. So ayun, that was an opportunity missed, I think. Okay, so let's move on to someone who unfortunately did not win. Si Michelle Dee of the Philippines. So she only placed in the top 10. So how do you guys feel about her not moving on to the top 5?
Nagtingin ako number.
Okay.
Sige,
I mean, first and foremost, congratulations. Kasi nakabalik ulit tayo sa semis. Like, diba? That was, I think, one of the big loss last year when Celeste wasn't able to enter the semifinals because we had like a 12-year streak. So, ayun, hopefully, Michelle started another
Streak.
Yeah.
Yun muna.
Of course, like I think we all were expecting her to placed top 10 and hope. And after her evening gown, I think it cemented
Yeah.
our position at deserved top 5.
Yeah.
Like at least, I think she really did a good job tonight. Like her impact on the stage, her presence was top 5 worthy talaga.
Ako, sayang naman. Sayang naman. Charot. But it's really because like, remember when she won Miss U Philippines 2022, there were a lot of backlash kasi they were expecting Pauline Amelinks, now
Yeah.
Miss Supranational first runner-up, to win. And I think after the pageant, she proved all of us wrong with
She
her,
did,
her
yeah.
presence, with her positions in life and everything. And even in the competition from The Voice for Change or even her preliminary round, like when I would see her swimsuit, her evening gown, I was like, there's a glow up. There's like a change in aura talaga from
Yeah.
MUPH 2022 to Miss Universe 2023. So, and she brought that again with her evening gown.
She really commanded the stage. Yung swimsuit, like, if I'm not mistaken, they were each allowed to choose which swimsuit to wear, and she arguably chose like the riskiest one, like the red halter. So alam mo yun, parang that could have gone in another direction, but she did it with such class. And she really pulled it off. Tapos yung evening gown niya na black na tattoo thing was
Yeah,
very
Wangwood
interesting.
inspired.
Wangwood inspired, like very tattoos inspired. And I honestly think that was a better ode to Philippine culture than her actual national costume.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
Like,
oo.
if you remember din yung national costume niya had a lot of debate, like,
Yes.
in the age of the late flights sa Pilipinas, or like among all of our cultures, why an airplane? I mean, we get it, like she's a Air Force service, but I also think, like, I saw a photo of her in Miss Universe, yung without the wings. I also think if they removed the wings, it would have been much better kasi the vibe felt like medyo fiesta, but there's still influence
There's a
of
lot
her
going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that costume. But going back to Wang Od, like, it was such a very respectful it was a very respectful
Tribute,
tribute
yeah.
to Wang Od. And I think Mark Baumgartner did a very good job at both of her evening gowns. It really highlighted her elegance, but also showed really, Filipino craftsmanship.
Oo, at may pagka-quirky siya. Like, medyo edgy tayo this year, no? She was also like the only short-haired top 10 person, like naka-slick back pa and everything. So parang may dating tayo talaga that the other candidates did not.
True.
Ayun.
Tsaka I felt like Michelle really like parang took the reins when it comes to how she's gonna be packaged on media. Parang yun, I mean, we could never confirm with the organization. Pero yung dating sa kanya was like, alam mo yung she has this vision on how she's gonna present herself in that Miss Universe stage. And I feel like she was able to achieve that. Honestly, yun, especially after that evening gown, sayang sana kung mas may exposure yon if nakaabot mo siya kahit na sana top 5 question and answer. Kasi every Filipino pageant fans know, kung gano'n naman talaga siya, like, di ba, she has the brains, she
Oo,
could
she's
pull off
articulate,
the
yeah.
question and answer. So yun, sayang hindi tayo nakaabot sa question and answer. Also, kasi siya yung nanalo sa Voice for Change. So, even before the competition, alam mo na yung advocacy niya was like autism awareness.
Yeah,
And it's not just like an advocacy for the pageant. You know that it's something that really like resonates with her. With or without Miss Universe. So, sayang lang na hindi siya nagkaroon ng more spotlight in the actual coronation.
Yeah, lacking in parang giving a platform for the advocacy talaga tong parang kind of, I don't know kung lip service lang siya or what, pero ayun, sayang lang talaga. Okay, so moving on from Michelle Dee, maraming mga historical firsts actually this year, which is actually really nice. So yun nga, they lifted the ban on mothers and wives, and ang nakaabot sa top 5 na mother, si Miss Colombia. So sayang hindi siya naka-top 3. Okay naman siya sumagot for me, I think. Although she seems a little generic
But
in my mind.
I think it was refreshing to see like an answer about being a mother. Like,
Yeah,
it's
you'll never hear
before
that.
heard. And,
Oo.
yeah, it just goes to show like, wow, Miss Universe has been going on for so long, but it can still surprise because they're opening their doors to new contestants.
Oo.
And the fact that they didn't put her in top 3, it would have been a really good historical first also for the organization to put a mother as a top 3 candidate even, or put her into the finals. Kasi I think her answer sa top 5 was even better than like other contestants.
Yeah.
Like it really stood out kasi it was very genuine. Like it didn't feel like parang a generic answer na you could
What was her
practice.
answer?
Especially kasi like her question was like last day on earth.
Oo, yeah.
Tapos she talked about like breaking stereotypes, being a woman, being a mother, and yeah, something that she want to transmit to women and children. So it's not really something that you could hear from other contestants kasi
contestants.
hindi
Oo.
naman sila mothers.
Yeah. Tapos, ano pa ba? Si Pakistan, she wore a burqa swimsuit. She got into the top 20. So,
Yeah.
diba? So, she
Parang
wore a
it's the
burqa.
first time that Pakistan joined the competition.
Oo. And the first time for us to see a swimsuit like that. And then, si Nepal, our favorite, who unfortunately did not get into the top 10. Yun, she's the first plus-size contestant. And she really rocked that swimsuit, I have to say. Ayun. And then si Portugal also got into the top 20. She is a transgender woman. Ayun. So, maraming mga historical firsts. And I'm glad that they at least got a little screen time kahit papano. Ayun. So, hopefully that is like a gateway drug into letting them get higher positions.
True, especially because Miss Universe also removed the age limit.
Yeah,
na.
yeah.
So starting next
year,
wala nang age limit. So I
That
guess
should be
there's
really
more
interesting.
interesting contestants who
Oo.
will join.
yeah.
And I feel like kasi, especially that it's been a while since transgender candidates also reached the global competition. 'Cause
Yeah.
aside from before this, si Spain, Angela Ponce lang, 2018. And it's been 5 years since then. Tapos ngayon, dalawang transgender candidates. So, ang refreshing lang na, ayun, may historical first for this year's edition. And I feel like sobrang welcoming nung atmosphere sa mismong coronation night. Especially like Nepal really stood out during the swimsuit competition. Like everyone was cheering for her. Ang akin lang was like, when you saw sa social media posts, remember because we had this story of like the transgender women and the mothers and wives. Ang lungkot lang that some reactions were like,
Bigoted pa rin.
oo,
Bigot.
parang you shouldn't call it like Miss Universe kung may mga transgenders or may nanay pa rin. So,
Typical,
ang lungkot lang na may ganong reception.
And
to
it's
that.
kind of sad din kasi like I don't think people should define womanhood as a basis of like their own parts or ano. It's really, how they carry themselves also as people. That also shows an essence of womanhood. And the fact that people are not seeing this in 2023, most especially, is still baffling. Like, we're allowing mothers, we're accepting mothers, but why can't you accept transgenders? Like, this is their story, this is their life. Live experience naman din as a woman.
Still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this is a good first step into
Definitely. And I can't wait next year. I hope there's like a 50-year-old hot woman or something. Diba? Parang who knows?
Amazing.
Diba? Tas, I'm sure like somebody older can actually provide better Q&A answers. Parang, diba? Parang they can, parang may mahuhugutan from experience talaga. Okay, so unfortunately, wala dito si Jairo Boliedo, our our resident pageant expert sa Rappler, who also happens to be our Justice Beat reporter. Pero so we asked him na lang kung ano yung feelings niya. Marami siyang feelings, pero in a nutshell, he feels that for one, Nicaragua really deserves it. She's a bombshell and a sincere speaker, according to Jairo. Parang para sa kanya, sure win siya, like Paulina Vega and Catriona Gray. Tapos he also feels that Michelle Dee should have been in the top 5 or even top 3. Runner-up placement sana daw. Tapos isang tidbit na hindi talaga niya ma-let go. So for Filipinos, tonight's performance by John Legend was symbolic. Kasi it turns out na the last time John Legend performed for Miss U was when Venus Rao competed in 2010. And that was when it started the PH's 12-year streak. So, the fact that he performed again, tapos si Michelle Dee naman, parang, I guess he was trying to manifest na ito ang start na naman ng isa pang mahaba-habang streak para sa atin. So, ayun. So, sabi ni Jairo, what a full circle moment. Ayun. And finally, he also thinks that sobrang fitting yung pangalan ni Shayness Palacios. A name for a queen. Tama naman. Sige. So, in terms of reacts, Russell, since
Yeah.
you're our Digicom specialist, kindly tell us how netizens have been reacting to the results?
I think very similar to what we've been discussing so far.
Okay.
Especially, everyone really loved Michelle Dee's evening gown. It was very unique compared to the competitors. Like, if you visualize a picture of how unique it was, imagine Catriona Gray in Miss Universe 2018
Yes, the lava gown.
with the lava gown.
Yeah, yeah.
Among all of the with the new contestants, kahit her swimsuit was very unique, din eh. So they said that she was robbed. So she was robbed of the Q&A and the top 5, and she would have aced the Q&As.
Yeah.
Given, her history, especially with Miss Universe Philippines. Medyo underwhelming naman din yung top 5 and top 3 question and answer, especially like, with the new vision of Miss Universe.
Yeah.
So it still echoes talaga, like, there's more inclusivity, clear winners in Nicaragua, but I think one point na we still have to touch is yung energy ni Catriona Gray as backstage host.
Oo nga pala.
A lot of people are hoping for her to be the main host.
A permanent host, yeah.
She really gives and I think for me, I think I do agree.
I agree.
She's really energetic, and I think like she's really a favorite among the Miss Universe, fans. So I really do believe she deserves that next year. Miss Universe, of course, dominated all of the trends in social media. In X, or formerly Twitter, all of the keywords, top 10, Miss Universe.
Miss Universe.
Tapos, I guess, medyo happy naman pa rin. Still a happy vibes pa rin. Kasi we did return to the top 20 and the top 10 after, Cheleses wasn't able to place din sa semifinals. And I think also for me, as I said, compared to the backlash that we got over Michelle Dee in Miss Universe Philippines, everyone was rooting for her. Everyone was rooting Everyone was rooting for her. Everyone felt she was robbed. And I think it's reflective of the way she packaged herself and the way that she really made sure to turn that backlash into, to prove herself also. Now, she is indeed a Miss Universe candidate.
And speaking of reacts, like, I believe si Michelle at si Celeste also posted during the pageant.
Yeah.
Ano yung ano?
Sina Michelle, I remember, after she left the top 5, she didn't place pala sa top 5, she said, she thanked her supporters and she said love and kindness over everything. And I think netizens also saw then how she lived that when she tried to comfort Thailand's Antonia Porcil. She was really comforting her when Nicaragua took the crown. And then yung kay Celeste, let me hold on. I think it was something about like, she was also alluding.
Tukayo.
Yeah. Hold on. Tukayo. Hold on. Pero I think it's also alluding to like when she didn't place in. She said, if there's one thing that this title taught me, it's losing. It's losing is the new winning. I couldn't be more thankful. And I really think Celeste still won naman pa rin. I think she really showed her resilience in even if she did not place. And that's something na we still have to remember din na beyond Miss Universe competition, there's also, a whole, there's something beyond Miss Universe then. And I think that shows also in, the previous Miss Universe, like the legacy also of mga semi-finalists din na winning is not everything.
Okay.
I mean, true. Speaking of like the camaraderie between Michelle Dee and the Thailand contestant, remember after Nicaragua won and then the candidates were like rooting and cheering for her? That was such like a good finale touch. Na parang, okay, hindi ako nanalo, pero that's my sister winning. So yeah.
Ang cute nila, parang, if you guys didn't watch the actual feed, like, parang naka-group hug silang lahat, tapos they were cheering, Nicaragua, Nicaragua. Parang, I think that's the first time I've ever seen anything like that. Ayun. Anything else, Steph? Or? No, okay. Ayun. Sige, so next year, they announced that Miss Universe will be in Mexico. So let's hope that things go well there. So for our final thoughts na lang, can you guys share what you hope to see for Miss Universe 2024? Let's start with Russ.
I think there's gonna be a lot of changes also, especially since the current president, Paula Sugart, has resigned after many years in the organization, and she's been the one leading the changes. And then, of course, before this year's pageant began, it was announced that JKN Group is under bankruptcy, but the Miss Universe is healthy. So I guess there's gonna be a lot of like questions in going to next year's pageant. But I think what I do hope is that, better questions, I guess.
Yes.
And I think this year's queens were very strong. Keep giving us that lineup, but give questions that reflect the diversity of these queens. Because I think there's more that they could offer.
And how about you, Isa?
Agree, especially like we already started with a lot of diversity and representation for this edition. So especially with the removal of age limit for next year's pageant, ang interesting lang what would be added to the roster of candidates. Also, for the, I feel like I'm also excited sa kung sino ba magiging um, mag-represent the Philippines in next year's edition. Kasi yun, aside from, since when we announced the removal of the age limit, ang daming fans, pageant fans of like previous beauty queens, Filipino beauty queens, who were like asking na, why don't you make a comeback for the
back,
Miss
oo.
Universe Philippines? Miss
Oo,
Universe
eh.
Philippines,
Oo.
since wala ng age limit. So, that's something to watch out for. And the Miss Universe Philippines organization has also started yung mga regional pageants. Like,
Yeah.
instead of the one-time Miss Universe Philippines competition lang, parang they started looking for representatives na sa bawat regions or something. May parang small mini pageants sila. So parang medyo nahasa na kung sino yung mag-represent per place. So parang kung isipin yung magiging competition for Miss Universe Philippines alone,
Oo.
diba?
Would be
Sobrang
very
interesting.
fierce.
So, I guess that's where like high expectations for the next Philippine candidate.
Yeah, so I agree that that process will help produce just a strong or even stronger candidate like Michelle Dee, who represented the Philippines well, and the diversity that's still continuing to be introduced. I wish that were more highlighted because it is quite groundbreaking, all these changes. Like, I feel like it could have been given more spotlight in this year's pageant. And also for the pageant itself, I hope it remains the way it is, which is it's a very smooth, classy
Yes,
pageant,
production-wise. Oh nga pala, we
Diba?
forgot to talk about how nice the set
The
was.
production,
Yeah.
The
timing.
runway even.
Yeah. oo.
Yeah, it's like
It starts on
Seamless,
time. Yeah.
It was very fast even, like, very fast paced. I was thinking about Miss Universe Philippines 2022, and then I said, I'm like, wow.
right. It's no,
That's like
no
not
fanfare.
even 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like 3.5 hours.
Ayun. So yes, hopefully, kudos to the production team
Keep it up.
din.
Kudos.
Correct, yeah.
Pakakang stage niyo.
Correct. Ako naman, finally, yun nga, more advocacy. Like, besides the diversity thing, kasi parang, sige, mag-diversity kayo dyan, pero baka token lang yun. Parang until you use the pageant to be a proper platform for advocacies and more current events related things, it's still gonna be like the typical beauty pageant, di ba? Ayun. So, yun lang sa akin. Okay, so that wraps up our Rappler Recap for Miss Universe 2023. Yay! Congrats again to Michelle Dee and to Miss Palacios. On behalf of Isa, Steph, and Russ, I'm Marguerite De Leon. Thanks for watching.
Thank
Pageant
you.
Bye!
Woo!